Be completely honest with you, I always say that I'm not looking for happiness because I think that happiness isn't the right thing to look for, because people that are looking for happiness, when they're unhappy, like any other human being, they're unhappy. But because they're looking for happiness, they're even more unhappy because they didn't reach their goal of looking for happiness. I think gambling is not the problem. Gambling has existed since the beginning of times, and gambling allows you to assess your level of luck. That luck currency for your personal life. And you don't want to win. If I'm winning money, I'm lucky. And if I'm losing money, I'm unlucky. Because I invite people that I like, I invite people that I respect, and I learn so much from them.
Hi, everyone. Today we are recording our podcast with Alex Tomic, very popular person in iGaming, founder of Alea, founder of Vegas Legends, and a host of Under Pressure podcast. We will talk about the reasons to wake up in the morning, about some secrets that are helping to survive in this hectic iGaming industry, in this rush, and lots of insights are waiting. Don't miss, write something in the comments. How are you today, Alex?
Good. It's raining in Barcelona for the first time in days. It's very rainy, but really all good. It's the festive season. You can feel it in the air. Everybody's preparing for holidays and spending time with family and stuff like that.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
creates
it creates
certain
a certain mood,
mood,
very
very
special
special
one,
one,
only
only
once a
once a
year.
year.
Yes, and then it's very bizarre week between the 2025 and the 31st of December. I think there's some magical, mystical thing there. Something happens there. Okay, I'm jump right into the subject. When I used to take psychedelics, I don't take them that much now. I used to take them specifically during that week because I believe, and actually I think that's what people used to do, and that's all the symbolism of Santa Claus is related to psychedelics. Santa Claus always is shown with the mushroom, the Amanita muscaria, the Mario mushroom, the red with the red cap and the white spots. And I think back in time, pagans before Christianism were taking these mushrooms, Amanita muscaria, which is actually not a psychedelic mushroom. It's a little bit different. During that period of time, and were hallucinating and having visions, etc. But during that specific time of the year.
So festive season, but in iGaming we have the schedule is a little bit different. So we have very busy autumn, we have busy winter, and this recent Sigma event in Rome, the biggest one among recent ones. So yeah, how did it go for you from your perspective? Was it good or yeah?
It was a very good event. It was a big challenge for Sigma because in 10 years, it's the first time that they're changing the location of the flagship events, knowing that in the acronym Sigma, you have MA at the end, that's Malta. I never remember what SIG, show in gaming Malta, something like that means, but Sigma was always related to the island of Malta, and now the flagship show went to Rome, and we were all curious to see what's going to happen. And Rome is a beautiful city, and the show was a great success. I mean, there was a lot of people, and we got a very, very packed booth, a lot of leads, quality leads. So it was an extremely, first of all, it was a good show, and it was a very well organized show. There was an event at the Rome Opera with Placido Domingo that was just crazy. It's good also to see that in the iGaming industry, we don't just have the DJs anymore. We have some other type of cultural quality shows. Maybe it shows also that the industry is a sign that the industry people like myself, you see my white beard, we're getting older, and we don't look for DJs anymore. We're looking for opera singers.
I don't think it's only about the age. Maybe this is like aesthetic perception is growing. Industry taste is getting better.
Yeah, and I completely agree with you. But what I wanted to tell is that these specific events, the Placido Domingo one, was extremely well organized. There were other events now, I don't remember all of them, that were really very well organized, all the side events apart from the show itself. And the show was huge. So the show was even bigger then I mean that's why they moved from Malta, because Malta couldn't sustain anymore Sigma main event. I think there were 30,000 people, and just for online, which make it one of the biggest online gaming show in the industry, if not the biggest, to be honest.
Yeah, it was also very busy, like big in all the meanings for our team. So yeah, we enjoyed it a lot and had to recover a few weeks after. And how do you do this? How do you recover from such big and hectic events?
So, look, when possible, I want to publish an article about how to go to a show and how to recover from a show, and I didn't have time to do it because I'm very much into biohacking. So I did think about that. If you have time to recover, if there's not another show coming back right after it, which happens a lot lately, you go from a show, you have a week, you go to another show. So basically, normally you need at least 2 weeks between two shows. You need 1 week to debrief the show and deal with all the contacts you did at the previous show, and then you need another week to prepare the show, the following one. And if you could have another week in the middle, that would be 3 weeks just to work, for example, for 1 week, that would be awesome. But sometimes you just go from show to show. But let's assume you have the time. What I do personally, I don't drink anymore, and that was the game changer. If you stop drinking completely alcohol, you don't need that much recovery from the alcohol you've ingested during the show. So and the tobacco you smoke, also stop smoking. So that's a big changer. But what I would do basically is sleeping as much as possible, gym, cardio, because I do training every day. It's like 20 minutes routine. Basically, it's 60 push-ups, 60 squats, air squats, and some other kind of movements. That's what I do every day in the morning in any hotel room. And I start doing that because a lot of times there is no gym. You don't have time to go to the gyms. I've come to the conclusion that the best way is to train every day with your own body, doing calisthenics in your room. Okay. And what I would also do, because I will load myself with supplements. And most importantly, I would try to speak to the least people as possible, because you speak with so many people during the shows that what you want when you're not on a show is to talk to anyone, if possible, apart from your team. But you don't go out, you don't socialize, you try to recover that social energy that you spend with meeting so many people. So basically, you sleep, you gym, you eat well, and you don't speak. You live like a monk in between in between in between two shows. Now the problem for those who have a partner, a girlfriend, a wife, or whatever, it's kids. It's a little bit more complicated, because basically you've not been here for a week, and then they have you back, and they want you to be there with them. So I don't know, because I'm not in that position. I'm single. Maybe it gives you something to be with them. Maybe it recharges you. I don't know. I don't want to assume anything there. Or maybe it depletes you even more. Personally, knowing myself and being in relationships, how could I say? I would say it depletes me even more. I need to be alone. I mean, when I come back from a show, there's one thing that I need to be alone at least for 3 days.
It's such a controversy because people are thinking, successful people, that they live their best life, but actually your life reminds the life of a monk, as you as you mentioned. But
Yeah, complete. But don't get me wrong, I love shows, huh?
Sure.
I love shows. I thrive in shows. I mean, I love going to shows as much as I love going to the gym. But you need after recovery.
Absolutely, I
You
agree
need
with
recovery.
you. I
And
agree.
that's it.
I agree on everything, and I'm not drinking for more than 6 years also. And when you're not drinking, you're getting
Congratulations.
so much time that you are going to do gym, you will go running, you will do like working to it, and you manage all of these things. So yeah, I found it
Completely.
really like game changer, as you correctly mentioned again.
No, completely.
Thank you. Yeah. And speaking of biohacking and all the supplements, maybe you could, I don't know, recommend a legal one, like maybe a mushroom complex that works, or something like that, just to
Wow.
boost something here, or maybe not only here.
Okay, you get me into a subject that I can talk for hours. I'm going to try to be very quick. You need like bases to cover your bases. You need, the first one is magnesium glycinate or magnesium biglycinate 2 times per day, 1 time in the morning, 1 time at night. That's the basis. Without magnesium, you can't live. Okay, then you need omega-3 fish oil or vegan, like I take omega-3. Then you need vitamin D3 plus K2, and you need to take them together, plus the magnesium. And then after that, I mean, I take around 100 per day, PQQ, CoQ10, selenium, boron, all the minerals, all the amino acids, B complexes, vitamin C, and from mushrooms, take all of them, reishi chaga, cordyceps, turkey tail, lion mane. If needed, would microdose psychedelics. I'm not a very big fan of microdosing psychedelics. I prefer to take the heroic dose and feel the thing. But some people would microdose them and feel good with that. Creatine, of course, 15 grams per day, not 5. 5 grams per day is good for the muscle, but doesn't reach the brain. 15 grams, it goes to the brain. L-theanine, fantastic for the brain. Also, saffron, fantastic for the brain. And I would even take tadalafil, not sildenafil. I prefer tadalafil. Basically, it's Viagra or Cialis, not for the penis, but for the brain.
Okay.
So it's something I thought about. My father died from dementia, and I thought, well, if we use tadalafil, which first was a medicine for the heart, we found out that it facilitated perfusion, which is basic access of blood into the penis, microvascularization. It could help with the brain. I really thought about that 5 years ago. And the study came out just 1 year ago. They start using it for Alzheimer, dementia, Parkinson. The dose will be around 2.53 milligram of tadalafil per day, which is suboptimal for erectile dysfunction, but which is perfect for your brain. And it's a very good brain booster. The king of all for your brain. I mean, not that it's good for the brain like the other ones. I forgot to talk about the rhodiola. Rhodiola is also an amazing one. But there's so many. There's turmeric. There's so 100 of them. I can't give down. But one that I love, and that's been the movie was based on it. Limitless movie. It's called Modafinil. And modafinil, I think everybody should try modafinil. It's the best nootropic out there. Dave Asprey, the father of biohacking, made a video about it 2-3 months ago. It's a 1-hour video. Type in Google modafinil Dave Asprey.
Okay.
And he explains all the benefits of it, how to take it, how much to take it, how to cycle it. That would be my number one nootropic. But it's a nootropic. All the other ones, they are the building blocks that you need, that your body needs to get better. This is it's a brain booster. So it's much more effective at boosting your brain than everything else I've described before, but it's not going to make your body better, while all the other ones are making your body better. So you want to take them together. Plus another 30 or 50 or compounds that I don't have the time to see. Boron is very good too. Chromium just came up to my mind. Everything I'm taking on a daily basis. I forgot zinc and copper and manganese. Basically, you know what? It's simple. We're robots. You need metal. Everything that is a metal, a mineral, because calcium, magnesium, potassium, they're minerals.
Chemistry.
If you take the powder, if you take the powder of magnesium, pure powder, and you put a little bit of water, it's going to transform it to a little aluminum foil.
Yeah.
It transforms into metal. So basically, we're robots when we take electrolytes, which are sodium, potassium, magnesium, and if we drink too much water that doesn't have that, let's say 2, 3, 4 liters per hour, after 3 or 4 hours, you die. Because you're going to pee out all your sodium, your magnesium, and your potassium. And we're biological robots, and there's no more electricity. So there's no more electricity that goes from the brain to the heart to all the organs through your nerves, which is your electric system, your electric wiring, and you're just going to die. So we need all these metals: selenium, boron, lithium, and manganese, copper, zinc. We need all these metals, minerals to survive.
Thanks for sharing. You are in a great shape, so I think it will be available for
Thank
the
you.
audience. And I'm also into this a little bit. I'm now trying rhodiola and lion's mane and ashwagandha. So
I forgot
yeah,
ashwagandha. Ashwagandha is
absolutely.
amazing.
Absolutely.
Ashwagandha is beautiful. I
Yeah.
forgot. That's a very good one.
At least to me, this is a very interesting part. Since in iGaming we are all workaholics, but at the same time we are improving things around us, and it's all about self improvement as well. So I think it is really connected to our niche, to our industry. Getting back to iGaming, when I was preparing for the interview with you, I checked some of the interviews before, and you mentioned this stigma iGaming has for now, this certain relationship to the industry in general. That is why we have even invented this euphemism, iGaming, which is literally gambling, and it has this obscene meaning. So the question is, do you think this is going to change, and is it going to get better, or iGaming will eventually become an obscene word like gambling?
I think gambling is not the problem. Gambling has existed since the beginning of times, and I think that there's something sacred in gambling that I like, for example, to go and at a blackjack or roulette table, and I will assess my level of luck by playing, and I would see that if I'm playing, if I'm winning money, I'm lucky, and if I'm losing money, I'm unlucky. And then I will lose on purpose all my money in order to get that credit in my real life and not on the blackjack table. Because also being in the gambling industry, I can't see that I can't win on both sides, being the house and being the player, which applies more to us in this industry than to any other human being, but it also apply to any human being. In French, there's a say that say lucky or happy in gambling, unhappy in love. So you want to save that luck currency for your personal life, and you don't want to win on you don't really want to win in gambling. You want to win in real life, but gambling allows you to assess your level of luck. And I was on a podcast with Eyal, the CPO of Free Play, and he was saying, oh, soldiers, before a battle, they used to play cards or dice, I don't remember, in order to assess their level of luck, to know if the day after the battle was going to be good or not. So there is something really sacred in gambling. There is I think there is a currency of luck. And luck is not just luck, it's your capacity to align with the master plan of the universe, call it as you want. Okay, so what's then wrong with gambling? What's wrong with gambling is when you are, I could say the same thing that's wrong with the church. Having a relationship with God, the direct relationship with God, it's perfect. Let's say spirituality. Having a pope in between you and God, it's completely ridiculous. So you don't want to have someone in between you and the source, because actually the source is inside you. If you believe in spirituality and mysticism, you don't need a representative of God to talk to God. You talk to God through yourself, okay? And the problem is the house. The problem is that the problem is the player playing against the house. And I think when that's gonna disappear, gambling is gonna lose its negative stigma. Sorry. So, and it's happening with prediction markets right now. What are prediction markets? Basically, it's P2P gambling. You and I, we decide, and it exists for 20 years now. Betfair started with it, but now it's taking another turn, and it's becoming really big in the US with, I forgot the name of these companies. There's Poly Markets and Kaisha, I think is the name, or something like that. And Robinhood, these three main companies that basically, it's called CDC or something like that. You establish a contract between two human beings, and they decide to make a prediction on something. And not only they make a prediction, you make a prediction, I make a prediction, but we put money on top of it, okay? And now the house is going to be on top of that and just take a rake on that. That's perfectly fine. And even slots are going to be powered by that, I think, tomorrow. It means that we're going to have a lot of people doing this prediction against each other for whatever it is. Not just one-to-one, but maybe like a pool of 1,000 people or 10,000 people or 1 million people predicting that, and that's what we see on Poly Market, that Epstein files are going to be released before the 31st of December. If Donald Trump's name is going to appear there or not appear, if the names of people are going to appear or not appear, and you have different kind of odds, and you have thousands of people playing. Then you can take that data and through an API, make them feed a roulette or make them feed a slot machine. So the UI is going to change completely. You're going to see a slot, but behind this slot, you're not going to have RNG.
Yeah.
You're going to have a prediction market feed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and that I find fantastic. We already see it in sports in the US, and I think they're gonna power casino soon. I love the idea because it's peer to peer,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and even if the RTP is the same, let's say 96, let's say 95% to make it simple.
Yeah.
Even if the return to player is 95% and the house stake 5% stake, which is exactly the same monetary result at the end, I love the concept because it's player playing against each other and the house has no interest that this guy wins versus this other guy. And that I think is fundamental. And when that will happen, I think there's going to be much less stigma over gambling. You're still going to have a stigma, but much less.
And you mentioned this luck meter.
Yeah.
Like luck is a currency. And
Yeah.
I know a story of a woman who actually was very, very lucky during whole her life. Like absolutely.
We know this story. Yeah.
Yeah. And she had such a big reserve of luck. But then one day, the circumstances turned this way that she died in a car accident. To illustrate this luck as a currency, so she had a lot. She was wasting. She was getting into all the lotteries. She was winning all the time, like during her whole of her life, great family and everything. And then she dies young, relatively young, in a very strange circumstances. Connected to car accidents, whatever. So it's such a bad luck that happens one day that happened to no one. So yeah, it illustrates that luck is not just something we understand as luck. So there is magic behind it.
It is a currency. It is finite. It's not, you can't have infinite luck, and it's a commodity. It's something that you can use here or there. So you have a limited amount of luck, like willpower. You have a limited amount of willpower. You need to use it carefully.
And gambling won't be a problem. It will be a good entertainment, or the way just to test how lucky you are.
Exactly.
And I also like very much like your of the future of slot games and of gambling in general, that it is more about community and it is more about P2P, because currently everyone is talking that future of the gambling and slot games is AI, but AI is not the future. It's just a tool that probably will bring us to this real future where the gambling, iGaming would be about community building and P2P interaction.
To be honest with you, I didn't even think about what we could do if we would merge AI with gambling. But I'm not talking about like recommendation engine tools and like tools, like a deep intrication of AI and gambling. I never thought about that. To be honest, I can't even see the concept, but that could be something interesting. I still believe that gambling within communities, people against each other, is the best way to do. But imagine if you add an AI layer on top of it, that AI would organize, let's say, events, will help organize these events, will help put people together and the right people in front of each other. That could be actually an interesting concept I will need to think about.
Yeah, well, insights are everywhere.
Tell us about your podcast, Under Pressure. it is special. It is one of the most quality products in the industry. One of the most interesting formats. Tell us about it.
All right, so thank you for saying that.
But it's true.
Thank you. The idea of doing this podcast came in April 2020 during COVID, and it took me basically 5 years to execute it, and then I executed it ICE this year at ICE, and I remember it was 5 years that I was being frustrated for not doing the podcast, and I was at ICE. We had this hyperbaric chamber. I already had the name of the podcast Under Pressure. I knew I wanted to do it in the hyperbaric chamber. I knew I wanted to interview founders of companies, and I was not prepared at all. And I thought, you're never gonna be prepared. Just fucking do it. And I remember calling Eman and talking to him about that. I said, "Can you do it?" He said, "I'm coming in 5 minutes." 5 minutes after, he was at a booth in front of the chamber, and he said, "Let's do it." Thank you, man. And I called Alex Pratt. He came too. Jonas Stegman from No Limit City, he came too. And that was the three first podcasts we did at ICE this year, 2025. And since then, to be honest, I have no clue. I think we've done 10 of them. There's like 3 or 4 to be published. We have first guests that are coming not from the iGaming industry now in January. I can't talk about them yet because it's not in the box and I'm superstitious. Very high profile people that done Joe Rogan, for example, a month ago. We are having, I mean, the last one with Michael Schmidt did crazy numbers with him. Very controversial podcast because of who Michael is. Not that much because of his personality, because he's a very, very agreeable, likable person, but because of his investigative work around iGaming, and nobody likes to have a light cast on what we do, because we all do a little bit of white and a little bit of gray and sometimes a little bit of black. That's the nature of our industry, you know. So these people are not very well welcome. But on the other side, I think it's very healthy to have people like that questioning what we're doing. So that's why I invited him on the podcast. It's one of the best podcasts we've ever done. And most importantly, for me, it's all the conversation that I had for years behind closed doors that I could share with people, and that I could also rewatch because they would be recorded. And before I was drinking, before I stopped drinking 1.5-2 years ago, I would not even remember these conversations. They were happening like 2-3 o'clock in the night. We were all drunk and whatever. And doing it in hyperbaric chamber actually changed everything, because there's a pressure, there's the oxygen. At some point, it does affect you. It's like a nootropic a little bit. It's like taking a pill. It does affect you. It's recorded, and I watch them, and I'm like, what the fuck? I mean, some guys, they bring pearls of wisdom. Whether it's Jonas, when he explains how he founded No Limit City, and once you sell, you think you won, but money isn't everything. Also, the price you pay, the adrenaline that's in your body. I mean, it talks about a lot of interesting things. Eman dropped some really golden nuggets. There's David Carruthers that was not released yet. Pierre Linz that was not released yet. We had Rasmus also from SBC. Tom Light also that has not been released yet. Alex Pratt was amazing. I mean, they all have something. They all brought something. I rewatched them, and I'm like, I feel so to have the opportunity to talk to these people, have these people to come to talk with me, to have that recorded. I can't express how much does it bring personally to me. And now, if other people are watching it and are learning something from it and are having fun, great, fantastic. I mean, just for me, it's a therapy. Because I invite people that I like, I invite people that I respect, and I learn so much from them. Really.
Absolutely. This is something that motivates me as well and us as a company. I'm doing this on behalf of the company, but I'm learning myself, and I have big personal interest and personal rapport here with the people and their thoughts. One last question. You mentioned Ivan a
Go.
lot. I know you are friends. You mentioned him a lot, and we've talked to him as well. And he had a question to another participant we will be talking to. So the question is, what makes you happy? And have you found your ikigai in your life? Ikigai, you know what it is? I will explain to our audience. It's just the reason to wake up in the morning. So tell us, please, and we will finish on that.
So, be completely honest with you, I always say that I'm not looking for happiness because I think that happiness isn't the right thing to look for, because people that are looking for happiness, when they're unhappy, like any other human being, they're unhappy. But because they're looking for happiness, they're even more unhappy because they didn't reach their goal of looking for happiness. Someone who is not looking for happiness is just unhappy, but he's not double unhappy because in the first place, he wasn't looking for happiness. Okay. And you're not going to be happy every day. So I would say that the real thing is look for, kigai is a very good word. It should look for your purpose, not that much for your happiness. Did you find your purpose? And I think I did, and I do. And there's one thing that's the most important thing to me. So again, I got no family, there's no wife and no kids in my life. It's the people I work with, and my co-founder, especially Charlotte, and be able. It's like a team. We play every day, and in a playful way. Whatever the game is, we found this field, this iGaming. Call it football. It could have been something else. We could be in healthcare tomorrow, longevity, psychedelics. I would say iGaming is not the best one, but it's the most forgiving one. When I say it's the most forgiving one, to be completely honest with you, we at the iGaming crowd are not the smartest people in the room, okay? We didn't invent cars. We're not building rockets to go on the moon. We're just doing websites and games where people gamble. Okay. I don't think that requires a lot of skills. I don't think that requires a lot of brain power. And it's a very forgiving game because a lot of people, they don't do it because of the risks that are associated to it. So basically, it filters the pool of and the type of people that are coming. The smartest people don't come. The people who comes here are the people that want easy money. Okay, and that's fair enough for me. We can come here and stay for the money and play with the people we enjoy to play with.